It's going down, everybody. Um, I have not been live on Hot Mic. I have not been live on Somewhere in the Middle. Um, so I'm trying to make up for that. I wasn't going to talk about this whole Trump fiasco and this guilty verdict because I knew everybody would be talking about it. And, I don't want to hop on the train with everybody else. But I started to read the 34 charges, which are completely ambiguous. I started to read the legal defense, or not the defense, but the prosecution is using as grounds to convict this man. And I just sat back and I said, wow, America's done for. Like, legitimately done for. Now, Trump has got a press conference coming up here, and I don't know when it's going to start. It just popped up on my page as a notification, which is on his official YouTube page. 7,000 people watching. This started 2 minutes ago. Apparently, he's going to make a statement about this whole conviction, what he's facing. I'm going to give my opinions on what I think. I'm going to read a few articles. I'm going to play a few videos for you guys. But ultimately, I think what we've all known, right, and what we're all witnessing is the federal government weaponizing the state level government to attack opposing political candidates. They're weaponizing these departments to try to weaken someone's campaign while complaining about them being criminal within their own campaign with this hush money allegation. It's just, we're in a very upside down world. Like, I can't remember how we even got here. It's odd to be experiencing this. We're legitimately watching. I know the music is still playing in the background. It's up there for a reason, just so I can feel the air and I'm not just like, there's dead silence and you guys can hear the bops in the background. You better come correct on I'm not even live. Oh, I thought you were talking about your YouTube. Oh, my boy. I don't have anything negative to say. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. Listen, everyone knows where I stand when it comes to Trump. Okay? Me and Trump, we got beef because Trump, he's a little shaky on things that I think are very important to the future and the present and the past as far as the country goes. It just is what it is. Gay marriage, we're never going to agree on. I can't. I don't want to say anything about Israel. I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that because I actually want to see how Trump is going to govern when it comes to that whole thing. When he's in office, I think this right here just solidified the 2024 election for him, because what they're using to convict this guy is so ambiguous. It is so ambiguous. And I guess while we're waiting for the stream to start, by the way, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm waiting for this press conference to start. I don't got all night, Trump. It is almost midnight. Actually, it's 1 minute away from midnight. I'm never even on live or touching the internet at this time at night. So TikTok, pimp, I got places to be. I got stuff to do. Okay? Let's see. What's up, Christine in the building? Mo, you should come on right now. I'll be doing a show tonight, solo, I think. No, I'm going to be there. I just wanted to cover this. It's views at the end of the day. I'm going to take advantage, just like everyone else is taking advantage. But instead of giving what I think to be a canned response is coming from a lot of right-wingers, I want to be objective on this. So while we wait for that, I'm going to pull up a few articles and answer some questions that are in the comments section. Are you not worried about cheating still? At this point, no. I think complaining about cheating, complaining about elections not being fair and free. I think that's stupid because we are witnessing right now that elections are not fair or free. We have a federal government influencing, because people are stupid. They don't know how to pick up a book or pick up articles to read. You're influencing a crap ton of Americans in an election cycle by using bullshit narratives and bullshit charges to try to wound somebody. So we don't need foreign interference. We have American interference right here from this shadow oligarch government that we have representing us right now. Listen, the uniparty is real. Okay? The uniparty is real. I think it is so 2019 for people to be politically gangbanging, but clearly they still are. I would be having the same commentary if this were being weaponized against Joe Biden. He was guilty of absolutely nothing. Okay? I would have the same energy. The same energy. But here's an article from The Guardian. I have several different sources pulled up, but I found this to be interesting. The decision to convict Trump on all 34 counts is significant. Jurors could have acquitted him on some and convicted on others, but the fact that they went all in and relatively quickly suggests they believe the wider story prosecutors told at trial. It is a full-throated win for Bragg and the worst possible outcome for Trump, which I don't believe. I think what's happening is a lot of gaslighting. I'm using it in its correct form. I know a lot of people don't use that word right, but this is what they're accusing him of. I'm gonna say accused because I don't think the prosecution did a great job at proving that he's guilty of any of these things. Period. Point blank. I just don't. Falsifying business records is a misdemeanor in New York State. In order to elevate it to a felony, Bragg, which is a prosecutor, had to show that Trump did it with intent to commit another crime. Bragg argued that Trump had falsified the records with intent to violate a New York state law that says it is illegal for any two or more persons who conspire to promote or prevent the election of any person to a public office by unlawful means. So they're saying this hush money that Trump allegedly gave to Stormy Daniels was his attempt to cover some wrongdoing, and this information could have possibly wounded his campaign had he not paid her, which I think is bullshit. Because regardless of this woman getting paid, she still spoke out. She still talked. They still tried to add her to the whole Me Too movement. So even with the information out, even with people knowing that he allegedly slept with Stormy Daniels, right? Not by force, because she openly admits that she wasn't forced. She just didn't want to do it, which I don't believe. Right? That information was already out. So hide what? Where? What is he hiding? If this information ultimately came out and did nothing to his campaign and he wiped the floor with Hillary Clinton, I don't know. It's odd. All right. These are odd times that we are living in. I saw Candace put out a post yesterday for me, of course, but it was probably late last night. She referred to America as a banana republic. And I said, I don't think I disagree with you, ma'am. The federal government is participating in slander, and what I like to call libel, against this political opposition. And they're getting away with it. Now, of course, we know Trump's team is going to appeal this. I can't see them letting this prosecutor win with such an ambiguous, what they're using to convict him is so ambiguous. I guess my question overall is, how do you know his intent? How do you know he paid this woman to silence her? And they used 20 different witnesses, which I thought was even more ridiculous, because Do these witnesses have issues with him? Do they not like him? Have they been influenced? Did those witnesses get on the stand and perjure themselves? Hello? Let me see. Wasn't forced, didn't want to do it, makes you a paid hooker, he paid you. The problem is, damn, Mo is coming alive. In the comment section, and to be accurate, Cohen acted on his own to pay her. Trump didn't ask him to do that. I just read in another article that Cohen says that Trump did ask him to pay. And hold on, let me see. Let me pull that up. This could be wrong, but you know. Prosecutors say Trump falsified recorded payment to his then attorney, Michael Cohen, as a legal retainer instead of what they really were. Reimbursement for the payoff to Daniels. So a legal retainer was a payoff for Daniels because he went and paid him himself. Okay. This tracks with what Mo is saying. Cohen admitted he paid. The reporting on this is so bunk. They also state Trump raped her. Graped, I'm sorry. We can't say the R word here on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, YouTube. Oh, never mind. We gotta go. Why can't I hear? Why can't I hear Trump talking? This is a bit odd. Hold on, let's turn this music off. I wonder, do they know that nobody can hear this shit? Like, I don't hear nothing.
Right now, today, he could stop it.
There we go.
But he's not. They're destroying our country. Our country is in very bad shape. And they're very much against me saying these. They want to raise your taxes by 4 times. They want to stop you from having cars with their ridiculous mandates that make it impossible for you to get a car or afford a car. But make it very possible for China to build all of our cars. It's a very serious problem that we have. We just went through one of many experiences where we had a conflicted judge, highly conflicted. There's never been a more conflicted judge. Now, I'm under a gag order, which nobody's ever been under. No presidential candidate's ever been under a gag order before. I'm under a gag order, nasty gag order, where I've had to pay thousands of dollars in penalties and fines and was threatened with jail. Think of it. I'm the leading candidate. I'm leading Biden by a lot, and I'm leading the Republicans to the point where that's over. So I'm the leading person for president, and I'm under a gag order by a man that can't put 2 sentences together, given by a court, and they are in total conjunction with the White House and the DOJ, just so you understand. This is all done by Biden and his people. And maybe his people, more importantly. I don't know if Biden knows too much about it, because I don't know if he knows about anything. But he's nevertheless the president, so we have to use his name. And this is done by Washington, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. So we have a judge who's highly conflicted. You know what the confliction is. Nobody wants to write about it, and I'm not allowed to talk about it. If I do, he said, I get put in jail. So we'll play that game a little bit longer. We won't talk about it, but you're allowed to talk about it. I hope you do, because there's never been anybody so conflicted as this. As far as the trial itself, it was very unfair. We weren't allowed to use our election expert under any circumstances. You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil. He looks so nice and soft. People say, oh, he seems like such a nice man. No, unless you saw him in action. And you saw that with a certain witness that went through hell. And when we wanted to do things, he wouldn't let us do those things. But when the government wanted something, they got everything. They got everything they wanted. It was a rigged trial. We wanted a venue change where we could have a fair trial. We didn't get it. We wanted a judge change. We wanted a judge that wasn't conflicted. And obviously he didn't do that. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We had a DA who was a failed DA. Crime is rampant in New York, violent crime. That's what he's really supposed to be looking at. Crime is rampant in New York. Yesterday in McDonald's, you had a man hitting him up with machetes, a machete. Whoever can imagine even a machete being wielded in a store, in a place where they're eating, and he's going rampant. And Bragg is down watching a trial on what they call crimes. They're falsifying business records. That sounds so bad. To me, it sounds very bad. You know, it's only a misdemeanor, but to me, it sounds so bad. When they say falsifying business, that's a bad thing for me. I've never had that before. I'm falsifying. You know what falsifying business records is? In the first degree. They say falsifying business records. Sounds so good, right? It means that legal expense. I paid a lawyer, totally legal. I paid a lawyer a legal expense. And a bookkeeper, without any knowledge from me, correctly marked it down in the books. A very professional woman, highly respected. She testified. Marked it down in the books as a legal expense. So a legal expense, paid a lawyer, is a legal expense in the books. It's not sheetrock, construction, or any other thing. It's a legal expense. Think of that. This is what the falsification of business records were. And I said, what else are you going to call it? What else are you going to call it? Now, I would have testified. I wanted to testify. The theory is you never testify, because as soon as you testify, anybody, if it were George Washington, don't testify, because they'll get you on something that you said slightly wrong, and then they sue you for perjury. But I didn't care about that. I wanted to. But the judge allowed them to go into everything that I was ever involved in, not this case, everything that I was ever involved in, which is a first. In other words, you could go into every single thing that I ever did. Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bad boy there? And my lawyer said, what do you need to go through? All you wanted to do is I simply asked. I would have loved to, if I, to this day, I would have liked to have testified, but you would have said something out of whack, like it was a beautiful sunny day and it was actually raining out. And I very much appreciate the big crowd of people outside. That's incredible what's happening. The level of support has been incredible. So the whole thing is legal expense was marked down as legal expense. Think of it. This is the crime that I committed, that I'm supposed to go to jail for 187 years for. When you have violent crime all over this city at levels that nobody's ever seen before, where you have businesses leaving, and businesses are leaving because of this, because heads of businesses say, man, we don't want to get involved with that. I could go through the books of any business person in this city, and I could find things that in theory, I guess, let's indict him, let's destroy his life. But I'm out there, and I don't mind being out there, because I'm doing something for this country, and I'm doing something for our Constitution. It's very important, far beyond me. And this can't be allowed to happen to other presidents. It should never be allowed to happen in the future. But this is far beyond me. This is bigger than Trump. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my presidency. And the people understand it, because this came out, the Daily Mail. That was the first one, came out, was done last night right after the verdict, where I'm up 6 points. 6 points from what we already were. We were leading fairly substantially. We're up 6 points in the Daily Mail poll. Now, maybe other polls come out and it says something differently, but a lot of people have predicted it, because the public understands, and they understand what's going on. This is a scam. There's a rigged trial. It shouldn't have been in that venue. We shouldn't have had that judge. He should have allowed us to have an election expert. We had the best expert, most respected expert, head of the Federal Elections Commission. He was also to testify. He was waiting for 2 days. And when it was his turn, Bragg's people protested. And the judge knocked him out, said, you can't testify. He actually said you can't testify for anything having to do with the trial. You can say what the federal elections is. Well, that doesn't help. Everybody knows that, but you can't testify. So essentially, he wasn't able to testify. Other people weren't able to testify. But with these people, they were able to use people salacious. By the way, and nothing ever happened. There was no anything. Nothing ever happened, and they know it. But they were as salacious as they could be, and it had nothing to do with the case, but it had to do with politics. And do you notice the timing? The timing was perfect. This case was dead. It was dropped by every agency, every governmental board. It was dropped by the highly respected Southern District. They said, no, there's no case here. It was dropped by federal election, and that's what it's about. This is about a federal election, not a state election. You're not even allowed to look at it. They took the state and the city, and the people from federal election, Southern District, and Washington dropped the case. Everybody dropped the case. There was no case. Cy Vance dropped the case. And when Bragg came in, he said, this is the most ridiculous case I've ever seen. And who would have a certain person, again, gag order, who would have a certain person like this ever testify? He said, this is essentially one of the worst people I've ever seen ever to testify. He said, the craziest case I've ever seen. This is Bragg. Then when I announced I was running for president, long time later, they decided to revive this case. And they got a judge, Judge Marchand, who was responsible for another case that was also brought. It destroyed the life of a very good man, by the way. Destroyed the life of a very good man who went to prison once, and then they just put him in prison again because they said he lied. He didn't lie. I looked at the statements he made. In fact, he didn't remember something, and they put him in jail. Again, they've destroyed him. With me for many years, he was an honorable person. He was an honest man. And if you look at what he did, supposedly, it never happened. There's never been anything like this. Over the education of his grandchildren. Over, he didn't report that he had a car or 2 cars on his income. I don't know. I wonder how many people here have cars. I wonder how many people said, oh, gee, I have a car that's worth X dollars. How do you even figure it? And I guess you do have to report it, but I would say probably almost nobody does. Nobody even thinks about it. They put this man, they destroyed this man, but they put him in jail again because they didn't want him to testify. They didn't want him to testify. That's why he went to jail. They put him in jail twice. He's 77 years old. Now, normally I'd say that's an old guy, but I don't feel 77. Nobody ever says that about me. I'd like them to say, gee, we have to have a little sorrow for this man. They just don't say that about me, but maybe I'm better off that way. I think I'm probably better off that way. But they put him in jail twice. And you have to see what they put him in jail. And he was threatened by the judge. This man was told, you're going to get 15 years in jail if you don't give up Trump. And he was told that. You're going to get 15 years in jail. And he made a plea deal because he didn't want to spend the rest of his life. And he was told that viciously. We're living in a fascist state. He was told that viciously. So you can go to jail for 4 months, 5 months, or you can get 15 years in jail. So do a plea. Almost who wouldn't do that plea? Everyone does those pleas. It's a horrible thing. There's a whole group of lawyers that fight that. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. But they destroyed his life. So many other things. You look at Southern District didn't want to bring the case. Nobody wanted to bring the case. And then you know who didn't want to bring the case? Most of all is Bragg. Bragg didn't want to bring it. But then he brought it. And they tried to make it a different case. They didn't say legal expense equal legal expense. Again, if I wrote down and paid a lawyer, and by the way, this was a highly qualified lawyer. Now, I'm not allowed to use his name because of the gag order. But, you know, he's a sleazebag. Everybody knows that. Took me a while to find out. but he was effective. He did work, but he wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. You know, they like to use the word fixer. He wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer. At the time, he was a fully accredited lawyer. Now, he got into trouble not because of me. He got into trouble because he made outside deals and he had something to do with tips and medallions. And he borrowed money. And that's why and then he played 3 elections. And as soon as I saw that, I said, I wonder why he did that. He pled. He took a deal. Now, he took a deal because he wanted to get off. In other words, I'll take a plea deal and I want to get off. And he wanted to make a deal with the Southern District. And they wrote the worst report I think I've ever seen on any human being, other than the report that was written on James Comey by the Inspector General, a very great Inspector General, actually, wrote a report that was so bad. This one was possibly worse. The Southern District, the judge didn't let us use it. He said, it's hearsay. I said, it's not hearsay. Wouldn't let us use it. This is about the man. But he got in trouble for a very simple reason, because he was involved with borrowing a lot of money and he did something with the banks. I don't know if it's defrauded the banks, but something happened. You guys know what it is. And then in addition to that, he gave up on 3 things where he wasn't guilty. In fact, they were going to testify in that. The head of the FEC, the Brad Smith, the election expert, #1 rated in the country, was going to testify. He took a plea on 3 things. He just added them in because that gave him more bargaining power with respect to me. But the 3 things that he pled on, having to do with the election and having to do essentially a little bit with me, they weren't crimes. They weren't crimes. Nor is paying money under an NDA. So we have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. It's a big deal, a non-disclosure agreement. Totally honorable, totally good, totally accepted. Everybody has them. Every company has non-disclosure agreements. But the press called it slush fund and all sorts of other things. Hush money, hush money. It's not hush money. It's called a non-disclosure agreement. And most of the people in this room have a non-disclosure agreement with their company. It's a disgrace. So it's not hush money. It's a non-disclosure agreement, totally legal, totally common. Everyone has it. And what happened is he signed a non-disclosure agreement with this person, I guess other people, but it's totally honest. You're allowed to make the payment. You don't have to make it. You can make it any way you want. It's a non-disclosure agreement. And he signed that. And there was nothing wrong with signing it. And this should have been a non-case. And everybody said it was a non-case, including Bragg. Bragg said, until I ran for office. And then they saw the polls. I was leading the Republicans. I was leading the Democrats. I was leading everybody. And all of a sudden, they brought it back. It's a very sad thing that's happening in our country. And it's a thing that I'm honored. In a way, I'm honored. It's not that it's pleasant. It's very bad for family. It's very bad for friends and businesses. But I'm honored to be involved in it because somebody has to do it. And I might as well keep going and be the one. But I'm very honored to be involved because we're fighting for our Constitution. The money that was paid legally. There was nothing illegal. In fact, the lawyer in creating the NDA, because at that time he was a fully accredited lawyer. He wasn't a fixer. I never thought of him as a fixer. The media called him a fixer, or the prosecutors called him a fixer. He was a lawyer, and he was fairly good. Later on, I didn't like what he did. I didn't like, for instance, I didn't like that when I became president, he went around and made deals with companies. When I heard that, he was gone. He was gone. And he had payments coming to him. And a lot of this involved things that are very simple. There was nothing wrong. This was standard stuff, all standard stuff. Everything involved was standard. There was no crime here. In fact, I just watched a couple of the reports. You watched Jonathan Turley, Andy McCarthy, Greg Jarrett. You look at all of these people, Mark Levin, all very talented people, great people. Many more, many more. And they don't know me, essentially. They don't know me. They're legal scholars and experts. But I look at them. I watched Turley this morning saying there's no crime here. Everybody says there's no crime here, except for this DA that's got the city out of control with crime. It's absolutely out of control. So we have an NDA that was signed. We have legal expenses. And here's the thing on legal expenses, you have 100 where they say, they do a charge. I just recorded this out. Falsification of business records in the first degree. It sounds so bad. I said, wow. And even my own lawyers, I get very upset with them because they don't say what it is. They say, well, falsification of legal records is only a felony. Well, that's a lot. Is only they say a misdemeanor. But they try and bring it up to a felony if there's two crimes. They have all these different things. The other thing is they missed the statute of limitations by a lot because this was very old. They could have brought this 7 years ago instead of bringing it right in the middle of the election. So they missed the statute of limitations. They did everything. Now, let me give you the good news. The good news is last night, we just got a report this morning. In the history of politics, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, somebody will find that I'm wrong, maybe, but I don't think so. They raised with small money donors, meaning like $21, $42, $53, $38, a record $39 million in about a 10-hour period. No, think of that. I like those people. Because I guess it's backfiring. Now, I don't know. I'd rather not have it happen. I don't want to have it backfiring. I don't want to win this thing legitimately, not because they were stupid and did things that they shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't have brought this case. They were saying it this morning. This is a case that should not have been brought. I watched Andy McCarthy say this is a case that should not have been brought. And that was this morning. But they all say that. Every legal scholar has said it. And these are great people. They really understand the law. The other thing, a poll just came out. The first poll, I don't know, maybe others will be bad. But a poll just came out a little while ago. The Daily Mail. Does anybody read the Daily Mail? It's very good. They have a good poll. At least I like it today. And the Daily Mail just came out with a poll. And it has Trump up 6 points in the last 12 hours. 6 points. 6 points since this happened. Who thought this could happen? Because the people of our country know it's a hoax. They know it's a hoax. They get it. You know, they're really smart. And it's really something. So we're going to be appealing this scam. We're going to be appealing it on many different things. He wouldn't allow us to have witnesses. He wouldn't allow us to talk. He wouldn't allow us to do anything. The judge was a tyrant. And you got to see that with Bob Costello, a fine man. I've never seen anything like it. And neither has anybody that was in that courthouse where he demanded that the courthouse be cleared. Now, the good news is most of the people in the courthouse were the media. And anybody that was in the media, if you're fair, you'll say, wow. That was anger. That was crazed. He was crazed. And the reason that Bob Costello acted a little bit upset, which I think he has a right to, was that every question he was being asked was being objected to by the other side and sustained by the judge. Sustained. I think he did it many times. I don't know what the number, many times. Even I was sitting there saying, and these were basic questions. And I never saw anybody treated that way by a judge. And I've been treated very badly by two other judges also, because it's all the same thing. And it all comes out of the White House. Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. He's the worst president in the history of our country. The most incompetent. He's the dumbest president we've ever had. He's the dumbest president, most incompetent president. And he's the most dishonest president we've ever had. And so many he's a Manchurian candidate. You take a look at the way he treats
This
China,
nigga, bro.
Russia, so many others. You know, I ended the Russian pipeline. It was dead. He comes in and he approves it. And he gets 3.5 million, meaning
Great candidate.
3.5 million is paid to the family, his family, from the mayor of Moscow's wife. And I said, where did that come from? Nobody wants to talk about it. But he's a very big danger to our country. And the only way they think they can win this election is by doing exactly what they're doing right now, win it in the courts because they can't win it at the ballot box. So we're going to show them that, oh, we're going to fight. It's actually, I don't know, it's something where I'm wired in such a way that a lot of people would have gone away a long time ago. They would have gone away after impeachment hoax #1. That was a total hoax. I had great support from the Republican Party, though. Then you had impeachment hoax #2. And then they formed the committee. How about they formed the committee of thugs, the J6 committee of thugs. And they took their records and they destroyed all of the records after the committee was abandoned because those records were great for us. Now, can you imagine if Republicans did that? Everybody would have been in jail by now. Think of it, the unselect, I call it the unselect, they call it select committee, I call it the unselect committee of thugs. They meet, it's 100% Democrat and 2 past Republicans that are no longer Republicans, that are no longer in business anymore, thank you. But it was all Democrats and 2 wayward Republicans. Liz Cheney and crying Adam Kinzinger. He cries every time he goes on television. He's the most emotional human being I think I've ever seen. And that was our representatives. These 2 people were our rep. So they had all this stuff that they're leaking. And then when it came time to look at the records, like where the police said and the Capitol Guard said that I supplied, think of it, that I recommended as many soldiers or National Guard as you want. 10,000. If you had 500, you wouldn't have had a problem. There wouldn't have been a J6. But Nancy Pelosi and the group didn't want it. Anyway, so they have testimony to all of that, that I did not attack the Secret Service agent in the front of a car. You know, these are strong people. And I supposedly went to the driver and I grabbed him around the neck. And he rebuffed me. And then I went to the other guy, who I think is a black belt in karate. And he's slightly younger than me. Maybe 35 years, 40 years, 50 years. And I grabbed him around the neck and said, he's a black belt in karate. They know how to get somebody from around their neck. They would have gone like this, and that would be the end of that. Actually, I had a friend that said, you shouldn't dispute that. That makes you look like the toughest cookie we've ever seen. You should have let that go on. But the fact is, it never happened. It was all made up. And that was proven to be made up. It proved to be a false story. And they deleted and destroyed all of that information, every ounce of it. We're dealing with a corrupt government. We have a corrupt country. Our elections are corrupt. Our borders are open. Our borders are going to be closed very soon. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. Now, when I say that, because my people are always saying, do this, because we're fighting for America, DonaldJTrump.com. I hope everybody watching right now, DonaldJTrump.com, because it really makes a difference. They have a lot of money on the other side. I don't know where they get it. Nobody knows where they get it. But for some reason, they get money. But they're not on the side of our country. In many ways, I think they hate our country. Who on earth can want open borders where people are allowed to pour in from countries unknown, from places unknown, from languages that we haven't even heard of? We have people sitting in schools with languages where very few people have ever even heard of these languages.
It's Spanish.
Not like
What are you
Spanish
talking
or
about?
French or Russian.
Trump, shut the fuck up,
Languages
bro.
unknown.
Oh my God.
We have people
This
coming
nigga,
from
bro.
corners of the globe, and many of them are not good people. Many terrorists, record levels of terrorism, record levels of terrorists have come into our country. Record. They've never seen anything like it. You know, there was a report that in 2019, I don't believe this, by the way, the media gave it, and it was good for me, believe it or not. They said in 2019, there were no terrorists recorded that came into our country. I don't believe that. I don't think that's possible. But they actually, 2019 was a Trump year. I don't believe that that could be possible. But they said no terrorists came into our country. So let's say it was close. Let's say it was close. But now record levels of terrorists, record levels, the highest level we've ever seen of terrorists are pouring into our country. You have China with just in the last few months, 29,000 people came in, and I looked at them on a line, and they look like perfect soldiers. They're almost all male, from 19 to 25. It looks like a recruiting exercise. They have beautiful tents. They have propane stoves. They have cell phones, the best you can buy. I said, what's going on? It looks like they're building an army right in our country. Now, I don't think that would happen, right? We're losing our country. And I really think that this is an event, what took place yesterday with this judge. Look, we have conflicted, but he's a crooked judge, and you'll understand that. And I say that knowing that it's very dangerous for me to say that, and I don't mind, because I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to save our country and to save our Constitution. I don't mind. So thank you. So we will continue the fight. We're going to make America great again. Very simple. When people fight MAGA, they say, we're going to fight. I watch Biden. We're going to fight MAGA. We're going to stop MAGA. It's make America great again. That's all it is. MAGA. Make America great again. Our country's in serious trouble. We owe $36 trillion. We were energy independent for the first time ever. And now we're begging Venezuela for oil. One statistic you have to hear. Venezuela was crime-ridden. Caracas, the cities, crime-ridden. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They just reported a 72% drop in crime in the last year because all of their criminals, most of them, and the rest are coming in now, the ones that didn't come in. In Venezuela, their prisons have been emptied into the United States. Their criminals and drug dealers have been taken out of the cities and brought into the United States. And that's true with many other countries. The Congo has just released a lot of people from jail. Congo, Africa, just released a lot of people from their prisons and jails and brought them into the. This is what's happening to our country. And it's not sustainable by anyone. Little things like our kids can't have a Little League game anymore because you have tents and you have migrants living on the fields. That's the least of it. People are taking over our luxury hotels, migrants, and yet our veterans, our great veterans, are living on the streets like dogs. They're living on the streets. But migrants are living in luxury hotels in cities all over our country, run by Democrats. So it's my honor to be doing this. It really is. It's a very unpleasant thing, to be honest. But it's a great, great honor. We're gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna do it, and the support has been. That's why I mentioned the number of $39 million. That's why I mentioned we're up 6 points, and we went up a lot over the last month because everybody saw it was a rigged deal. It was a rigged trial. But we're gonna make America great again. We're gonna make it better than ever before. November 5th. Remember, November 5th is the most important day in the history of our country. Thank you very much, everybody. President Trump.
Man. Wow. That was President Trump giving his speech after being found guilty. I know that Mexican is not a language, ma'am. I said they're Mexican. They speak Spanish. I don't know. I haven't even read of any like indigenous African, South African tribes coming to America. But either way it goes, I thought it was funny. I think a lot of what he said is funny. Um, we're just gonna have to see what Trump does when he gets in office. I think this solidified a win for him. I think there are many people that understand that Democrats don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. They control the culture war 1000%. They control the narrative. But I think we can say Trump's a bit of a glitch in the matrix for these people. And they don't really know what to do with themselves. And I found one Democrat that was willing to be honest. You know, one Democrat with her linebacker self, Baldy, Simone. I can't remember her last name. Simone something, and she used to be a part of his campaign, but ultimately left. I think within the first year, she didn't even stick around. But check out what she had to say.
This conviction does not take him off the ballot. And I just think that's important for people to know because I'm seeing lots of people respond to a tweet that I put up saying, oh, what? He can still run? What? How can this be? Yes, Donald Trump is still a candidate. So no, none of these court cases were going to remove Donald Trump from the ballot. None of them. None of the cases, even if Florida went forward, even if Georgia was going forward right now, even if the DC the federal election interference case against Donald Trump is going forward. None of those cases will result in him being removed from the ballot. So people are going to have to make their decisions about this election at the ballot box in November. Just wanted to give that little clarifying point.
So you literally just admitted that none of this shit means anything as far as the court cases go. And you're only doing this to wound his public image. So y'all go to the ballot box anyway because none of this matters. It doesn't matter. Like these people are crazy. And when I say these people, I'm not talking about Congress. I'm not talking about the people that we see on a daily basis if you pay attention to politics. The representatives. I'm talking about the people like Simone here. How many times do these folks got to say the quiet part out loud for you to believe them? Which is why I said earlier, this just solidified a W for Trump. I wonder how many views this video has gotten all over social media. And if people are fighting back against what she's saying, are they accepting it? I was looking in this shade room comment section when they were posting the fact that Trump was found guilty. And I saw so many people saying, you know what, I'm going to vote for him just because y'all are doing this and it's some BS. So maybe Trump has this, he don't need to cheat. Maybe Trump doesn't need to cheat this time. Maybe it'll be like 2016. I'm not talking about the person Trump. I'm talking about how everybody woke up surprised as fuck that he won. Because nobody expected him to beat Hillary Clinton. I don't even think he expected himself to beat Hillary Clinton. But anyways, there was another video I seen on Twitter that I thought was hilarious. Apparently, President Bill Clinton, and I didn't even know this, paid off a woman to settle her claim of sexual assault, and he paid her $850,000. $850,000. Um, wouldn't Bill Clinton be doing the same thing that Trump is getting accused of? Um, and where did the money come from? That 850K. How did y'all pay that? You paid a woman to be quiet. I want to play this video. Listen to this shit.
There's the check.
And show them the check. Raise
There's
it.
the check.
It's your check.
Well, it's not going to be saying anything. Her attorneys are here today. So kind of officially, I think what we...
And the doctor says, Plumber, why so much? He says, I have to buy a new faucet. It's $25.
Well, our agreement had a payment of money, $700,000 plus a statement by the president redeeming Paula Jones's reputation. It's a cash payment of $850,000.
Cash payment. Bill Clinton settled cash payment for this bitch to be quiet about a sexual assault claim. Is that not him trying to save his public image so that it doesn't wound his campaign? Or am I tripping? Let me know. Hold me accountable. You know what else is crazy? I'm just gonna name a list of things that Democrats have done. Pelosi's insider trading. Hunter is a crack addict with hookers. Biden sold access to Chinese commies. Fauci lied about funding gain of function that created the COVID-19 virus. And I'm probably going to get smacked for everything I'm saying. So this video probably most likely won't remain up. Governor Cuomo, killed 11,000 elderly people in New York. Pfizer and Moderna lied about the safety of mRNA jabs. Planned Parenthood sold aborted baby parts. Okay. Epstein client list walks free. Mayorkas allowed the invasion of our border. Hillary Clinton deleted 30,000 files. And none of those people are in jail. None of those people. I think I would be okay with this if Republicans weaponize the state and federal justice branches to go after their political opponents. I don't even think I would be reading this list, but it's the fact that all these corrupt ass Democrats, okay, knowingly like getting caught, we know they're doing this. They're not hiding it. It's no secret. These people are committing crimes while being in office, and there's never been any charges brought against these folks. But Trump is found guilty of all 34 charges, which was what is the charge? Hold on, let me read it real quick. Convicted of falsifying business records. It's a misdemeanor in New York, and they in order to elevate it into a felony, Bragg had to show that Trump did, which was promoting his election by unlawful means. I don't know. I don't know. This whole thing is crazy to me. I can't believe it's happening in America. I want to see what everyone else is going to start saying. I'm going to get quiet on this. I kind of wish I would have paid attention to this entire court case when it was happening. But like I said, I'm so far removed from caring about these people and their plans because Simone just literally said the quiet part out loud. These court cases mean nothing. So should we really even be paying attention to it? I don't know. I think this part we pay attention to because they're literally finding him guilty of nothing. They don't have anything against him. I don't even think these charges are going to stick. I think the appeal. Now, someone asked me, have I seen the appeals judges that Trump is going to be going in front of? And yes, I have. I'm going to try to reserve my assumption about how these judges are going to either allow this appeal or shut it down. I don't know any of these women. I have no clue what their names are. I don't want to make a rushed assumption that they're going to be biased because they're black. I've seen a bunch of people on Elijah Schaefer's page say this is what happens when you allow DEI to take over. And I'm just like, how do we know that these women are going to like go against factual evidence showing that Trump deserves an appeal because the prosecution drummed up a bunch of BS? I don't even know who these people are. I guarantee you half of y'all commenting don't even know who these people are. But because they're black, you just, man, they're not going to give Trump this appeal. I don't think they have a choice. When Trump's legal team comes back with this appeal, I'm sure they're going to have rock solid evidence to prove all of their claims and to go against what the prosecution even brought forth. That's what I think is going to happen from all this. And I think this solidifies a win ultimately for Trump November 5th, 2024. I do. Biden sucks. The country sucks. His campaign sucks. It's boring. Kamala Harris is hella unpopular. That whole thing over there, Biden Harris 2024, that campaign is dead in the water as far as I'm concerned. They have not campaigned on anything except for student loans, Trump bad, pretty much. And they're not even running on the border, bro. I don't what are Democrats running on? If we honestly had to sit here and have this conversation, and I'm gonna drop the link in the comment section for people to come up and give their opinions on what you think about all this. I want to know what the people think. I don't want to just hear myself talk. I dropped it in the comment section right there. So if you want to come on, click that link. What the fuck are Democrats running on? Straight up. The only thing I can think of is student loans, making Trump seem bad, and just SJW BS. I don't even really hear them address the border like that. They're not really addressing anything. I will say this conflict with Hamas versus Israel is definitely going to be something that they're running on, but I'm interested to see how Biden runs on it, given I don't think him and Kamala Harris are even in agreement with the ceasefire. I don't know. It's up in the air. But Democrats really don't have shit to run on. So this is the best they can do. Let's drum up a ridiculous claim that the president committed a crime by paying his lawyer. Like, and let's say that he did it because he didn't want it to wound his 2016 political campaign. And then the lawyer comes out and says, this is actually what Cohen said. Let me pull this up. This is what I was talking about. This is what I read, that the lawyer actually did say that Trump told him to do this. Let me see. It was Cohen who negotiated the hush money deals that kept the stories of Mr. Trump's alleged affairs away from voters. It was Cohen who wired the $130,000 to Stormy Daniels, and it was Cohen who sent invoices to Mr. Trump and was reimbursed for his payout to the adult film star. This came out the 13th of May, by the way, if you want to know what I'm reading. On Monday, he testified that Mr. Trump directed him to pay Ms. Daniels in the hopes of keeping his chances of winning the 2016 presidential election alive. So this is what they're using to say that this guy is guilty of a crime. Essentially, he committed a crime by paying his lawyer. What do y'all see happening in the future? Do you see this as Simone sees it? What is her last name? She worked under Kamala Harris. I need to close this door. What is her last name? Simone something. She's a Democrat strategist. And then she quit right after they won. Simone. Simone Sanders. That's what it was. She's so loud and proud. Lord. This is freaking hilarious. Biden to remark soon. Yeah, I want to see what Biden has to say. Women's rights. Yeah, I guess they are kind of running on abortion, but they're not really running on abortion. They're trying to drag Roe v. Wade back up. They're doing their damnedest to do it, but because Trump is not budging on, hey, I'm gonna let the states handle it. They can't really. There's really nothing that they can run on when it comes to women's rights. They can try to say that Trump's trying to take, their rights away, but that wouldn't be true. He's leaving it up to the states. What up, Liddell?
What's going on, Susie? How you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing great.
Good stuff. You up a little late, ain't you?
I am up late, but I was just this. I found myself just like, bro, America's dead. Like, this country is done. This dude got found guilty based on a legit technicality because of the prosecution's interpretation of his intent, which is absurd to me that they can pretty much do a bunch of conjecture and infer that he's saying all these things with their own assumption, and then have 20 witnesses come on the freaking stand to corroborate your assertion. Like, that's crazy. We know that those people perjure themselves, but they're not going to jail.
No,
Like,
they're
that's
not.
crazy. That is
They're
nuts
not.
to me.
They're not. What's up, Red Pill? How you doing?
Good morning, Liddell.
Good morning. Good morning. What's going on?
Simi, what the late night party is going on?
You like this vibe, don't you?
I
It's
am
nice.
here for it.
Yeah. I gotta do this
You
more
know,
often.
you were talking about what the Democrats are running on. You forgot their favorite thing is the alphabet mafia. The floodgates of rainbows is about to bust open tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Pride Month. Well, we have to see how they're going to. The only way they can run on it is if they can have something to go against Trump on. And like I said before, since Trump has pretty much shifted way, way, way far away from conservative principles and traditions and ideals when it comes to these things, they can't beat him on that front anymore. They can't. He openly says, "I'm the most pro LGBTQ president ever in American history." He's got bragging rights of, I fought to decriminalize this at an international level, and he was successful in that. So I don't think they can beat him there.
So
I don't.
where they're going to beat him is the fact that they are okay with mutilating our children, and Trump has been a strong advocate against
You think they're
the.
gonna win on that?
I think that that is a huge topic for their people, right? And I see it hugely here in California, where the transitioning of children is pretty huge for people.
Well, that's California. California is gone, unfortunately. When I heard of California passing a $25 an hour minimum wage legislation, and then you had Gavin Newsom celebrating this with some unwise workers celebrating this as well, and then they didn't study the exact same thing that was done in Seattle years ago at $15 an hour. Didn't work. They didn't study that at all. That don't matter. So now they're feeling the negative effects of that. And now you have Chipotle, McDonald's, Starbucks. So we got to raise our prices up. Because newsflash, when you raise the cost of operating a business, the business is going to pass it on to consumers. Hello. This is dumb. Anyways, I digress. Concerning this whole thing with Trump, I believe that yes, they're going to lean on the Alphabet Crew mafia. They are, but there's some Alphabet Crew mafia on the Republican side as well. Also, do I think they lean more liberal? Yeah, they do. But I think that there's a lot of undercover Alphabet Mafia that won't come out and say it, but they're leaning more conservative because of the fact that a lot of these Catholic people they're not for this mutilation stuff. They're not. I mean, I don't like their lifestyle at all.
Yeah.
But I can agree with that when it comes to they don't like to mutilate kids. That's for sure. But I think
that's the only.
the biggest thing that people are not going to do is what I call those fingertip issues. People still have to go buy groceries. They're going to feel it every single time they get groceries, gas, go out to eat, go on vacation. There's going to be a lot of staycations, not vacations, staycation. The staycation is going to be at the crib, live streaming some videos. Like for real, I'm being serious.
I have a question for you since you brought that up. I've been meaning to ask you this. So we all believe here that Trump's going to win. I think Trump's going to win 2024. He inherits Biden's economy. He also can potentially be inheriting a war. What is the path forward for Trump, and how does he get more voters on board to believe in the fact that he's going to fix this? Like, what is his path forward?
Well, yeah, look at how we got into this mess. You have bad negotiators by intention. These guys can negotiate on Biden's side. They really can. But they're negotiating with a bad intention because they want a global society. They want this. This is what they
Yeah.
want. That's why when it comes to inflation, they always deflect to what, from a global standpoint, inflation is no.
Yeah.
There's origination, but when inflation, it begins in your country first. But I digress. There's an intentionality of being a bad negotiators for America. In other words, America's last in their perspective. It's last because they believe that it should be more of a global economy, and it is in some form of fashion. But you
Mhm.
have to have some sovereignty in this global society as well. Also, so what Trump's going to say is this here: I'm a better negotiator. If you don't believe me, look at our foreign relations when I was president. Look at him right now. It's chaos globally right now under Biden. And when it was me, we had the Abrahamic Accords, right?
Mhm.
NATO money was flooding into NATO as well. Also, so he's gonna really flex on the foreign policy, and I
Mm.
believe the weakest portion of Biden administration is the foreign policy. It sucks. They're
Okay.
trash.
I can see that. So economy
Mhm.
and foreign relations and foreign politics.
Correct.
I actually agree with that. I think that
Mhm.
that's going to be the pinnacle of his campaign. He's going to
Mhm.
hyper focus a lot on international matters. I think he's going to hyper focus a lot on the economy.
Mhm.
Um, appeal to the common man like he did in 2016. What do you have to lose? Pretty much, you're already paying the level. Look, cilantro is $13. Okay, $13 per pound.
Cilantro?
Yes,
Man,
it is ridiculous.
to buy we go to Costco. I love Costco. We go to Costco to buy those carton of eggs. I think it's like 15, $16 for a carton of eggs.
That's nuts.
And I'm like, what the is this? Now, by God's grace, we can afford it. By God's
Yeah,
grace. But I'm like, this don't make no damn sense. If
it's
I'm
crazy.
questioning, I know other folks is questioning it.
Liddell, I went to Costco yesterday with my mother-in-law, and
Mhm.
ground beef was $31 for
Yep.
4 pounds of ground
Wow.
Yes,
beef.
sir. Yes,
$31 for
sir.
ground beef.
Just to
Two.
simply
Mm.
make tacos. And going back to what you were saying about the fast food minimum wage, a Happy Meal is $8 in California right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to tell y'all. Here is the one thing I want people to see is as you're listening to the liberal media side, you're beginning to hear them say this here. Man, they're really speaking to the unknown. They'll say, you can't talk about this trial. And you can't talk about the substance of it up. No, because they are afraid of the unknown. They don't know what's coming.
Mhm.
They're in unfamiliar territory. Trump raising $39 million in 40 minutes.
That was
$39 million
crazy.
and I just said, and these are small donors. This ain't we ain't talking about super PAC. We're talking about small donors, $25, $50, $1, right? $100. That is unheard of in 40 minutes. When two of your sites crash, and WinRed is a major site with
Yeah, they are.
major stuff. They're huge. So when it crashes, there was a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic. They don't know what's coming, so they're going to lean upon a lot of ballot harvesting. Don't be surprised, guys, if they use the same illegal immigrants that came across the border. They use them to harvest votes. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Watch.
So so that is happening in California. So when you go to register to get your driver's license,
Mhm.
people are changing their origin of birth from a different country to somewhere in
Mhm.
America. Therefore, they are granted the right at the DMV to register to vote.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we see that our California borders are being flooded
Mhm.
with Asian men from China, from Iran. It's
Correct.
crazy. So I agree, Liddell.
It's the whole thing to me, guys. Is strategy. It's strategy. Now watch this. Look at the strategy again. They never do things without an intent. Look at the strategy. When is the sentencing date for Trump?
Isn't it
4
like
days before the
June 11th?
primary.
Exactly. 4 days for the primary. I mean, 4 days before the RNC convention. Why we do
Yeah.
that for? Why we do that for?
To gag
And then
him
you
prior
have
to the convention.
and then you have Norm Eisen, known guy, talking about we could put him in jail. That's on the table. That's on the table. That is on the table. Don't get it twisted. But watch the counter move. Now the RNC is saying, "Oh, don't you worry about it. We're gonna move our RNC convention up to July the 4th. No problem. We'll make him our nominee before you do that." Strategy, because if they put that dude in jail, it's over. It's a wrap.
Oh, it's over. Yeah, for sure. I would imagine he would be slightly okay with that happening as long as he's out in a couple hours.
I think people don't understand from a business perspective, real estate investing in New York is the toughest in the world, specifically Manhattan. This guy grew up in Manhattan. His dad told him, do not go into Manhattan. I won't help you out at all. He gave him $1 million and an attorney. That's it. $1 million in New York is like $100. That's in real estate investing. He's buying buildings, not homes, buildings, skyscrapers. So $1 million is nothing in New York. So now he's there, and he has to deal with mob bosses, union bosses, overregulation, the city council, the New York State, the governor, the mayor. I mean, it is tough as hell to do business in real estate in New York. It's the toughest in the world. And that's who Trump is. So when he says, I'm wired for this, it's because he's been tested.
Well, I think Democrats are going to have a run for their money. I low-key got a little happy. Not happy that this is happening to him, but like watching the cultural tide turn, not significantly, right? I'm not going to sit here and claim a massive W, but watching people say, I'm just going to vote for Trump just because, when those same people were saying, I'm just going to vote for Biden because I hate Trump, it's a bit serendipitous. It's crazy.
Isn't it though, Suni? I was just perusing on the social media last night, but really this morning when I was getting ready for business today, and just on Twitter, Instagram, some YouTube as well, just to say, what everybody's saying. I ain't never seen so much anger from both liberals and the conservatives about, I don't like this dude Trump at all, but he got my vote, and I'm like, what? Wait, what? This is ridiculous. This is what happened to black folks. This is what happened to black folks back in the 20s and 40s. What's happened to us? Am I right? So them off.
No, you're not.
Am I right? Am I off?
You're right.
It happened to us. And so I'm like, so if you are a black liberal and you cool with this, shut the hell up about Black Lives Matter. Shut up.
I'm gonna post a I pinned a whole just opinion piece on this when it comes to black people, because I think I worded it in this way of, how can the same party of SJWs, the same party of liberty and justice for all, the same party of due process, they hyper fixate on all of these issues when it comes to blacks, but then they use that same system, right, in which they say they don't control, and it's the Republicans that can do this thing. They use it to weaponize it against a political candidate. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not going to claim a massive W, because there are more people who are still like, go Democrats, go, convict him. He needs to be locked up. There was some fucking idiot writing all the counts he was found guilty of in front of the courthouse. Like, what a tard. Right? But those people are seeing that Democrats are willing to do anything to stop this dude from getting into office, which is abandoning their own fucking tenets, the things that make them Democrats. They're willing to abandon that to lock him up. Like, you're using a justice system that you called white supremacists against the white supremacists.
So the crazy thing is I am in liberal Sacramento, and yesterday I went to Costco, and I was wearing my Trump shirt with my "Give Me Liberty" or "Give Me Death" hat, and I
Yeah.
had so many people saying, "I love your shirt. I support Trump," in liberal Sacramento. Traditionally, when I come out here and I'm wearing anything Trump related, I get like dirty looks, or some random person will say something rude to me. But it was amazing how much people were so for what I was wearing yesterday because of what happened in this trial.
Yeah. Democrats don't they Democrats have shot their chance at the White House to hell. They weaponized the Fed weaponized the state justice system to cheat their way back into the White House, and they had an epic failure. Look at these people. Like I'm saying, I'm not claiming a historical shift. But this person literally said I had no intentions of voting for Trump until y'all started this shit. I've never voted for Donald Trump before, but I will certainly be voting for him now. Democrats are clear and present danger to truth, justice, and the American way. They must be defeated. They're too far left. The pendulum is going to swing to
I
see
think more
how this
people
side governs when they take the House and the Senate back.
I think more people are waking up not just to Trump, but to the
Mhm.
fact that the First Amendment has been violated for all people. They're coming after the Second. The Fourth Amendment has been violated. The 14th Amendment has been violated. And so these people don't care about our Constitution, about the
Mhm.
rights that we have solidified by our Constitution. And so a lot of
Mhm.
people are waking up because if it's not Trump, it's us.
Mhm.
He's read and you that part right there, red pill right there. People are like, wait a minute, if they can come after a former president with Secret Service protection,
Yeah.
who the hell are you? That's why I asked liberals yesterday, because I did a live stream on my thoughts about the whole verdict, and I said, liberals, you're celebrating today. You got your guy. He was unrighteous. Makes no
Mhm.
sense at all. Rocking with you. Here's a question I have for you. Are you cool if it happens to you too? What if they get tired of you and now you are the target and they ain't bring a crime against you? Is it justified now? At what cost are you willing to tank this? Is the cost going to be you? If it's you, I won't hear about no, give me no money. No, no, sir. This is what you wanted. You have you on camera saying this was cool.
Yep.
So take it. And to be honest with you, unfortunately, when it comes to growing in wisdom, you learn wisdom in two areas. Uh, discipleships, a mentor, someone walking with you, and the experience, the process. And when you discount that mentorship or discipleship, all you're left with is the process.
Mhm.
So Megan Kelly said it. Megan Kelly said it. She said, unfortunately, right now, we gotta do tit for tat. They will not learn until they go through the same process that they're putting us through. So don't be surprised if Trump gets in, if he wins, man, it's gonna be something to see.
What do you think is the likelihood of him winning, realistically?
Probably, but I say probably between 60 to 70%.
I'm right there with you.
Mhm.
There's just been too many things that are happening on a social level that Democrats can't get away from.
They can't.
They can't.
They
You
can't.
got you got the squad being more vocal about um, this conflict. That this conflict has replaced BLM. I don't know if people have noticed that. We haven't gotten to the violent protests of burning federal buildings down, courthouses and churches and all that. But I believe that this is the equivalent because of the global effort to bring attention to Gaza. Thank for Joe Biden.
I would say this here as well. Don't be surprised if part of the Democrat strategy is for Trump to win.
I think it is, to be honest with you.
Now, why do you think that? No, why do you think that?
Number one, I think because I think Trump is going to go in with a certain swagger about him that gives off revenge and retribution. But in all actuality, I don't think he's going to govern that way. I think he's going to be a more bipartisan president than he was in the first go round on issues that matter. Me personally, I don't see him deviating and separating from Democrats when it comes to this whole Israel thing. Like I mentioned before, abortion. The only people he's really in disagreement with right now is the radical left and these, batshit crazy feminists who are crying about rights that aren't up for grabs because the states have decided. Period. LGBTQ, he's got that. He's pro LGBTQ. What else is going to, what else is he gonna get in there and do?
Go after his political opponent.
You think he's gonna do that? I don't know if Trump's gonna do that. Let me be honest with you.
I think he's going to be very strategic with it. He's going to be the same thing with Democrats. The Justice Department is separate from me. They're part of the executive branch. They make their own decisions. But you know what he's going to do when it comes to the Attorney General. Don't be surprised if he chooses maybe a Cass Patel as Attorney General. A Ron DeSantis is another option, or Ken Paxton. If it's those,
you want to know why I'm jaded though?
Why is that?
I'm jaded because this man said he was going to arrest Hillary Clinton, and he never did. So this is what makes me think this drain the swamp, that whole thing. I don't think that's going to be Trump coming in. And I think people understand that that's not realistic. If you're not going to get rid of Hillary,
no,
right?
You're not.
Who the hell is he going to go in there and shut down? I'm just using my rational brain right now because in all actuality, in a dream, I feel like Trump is like Stark, okay, and the Avengers are gonna ascend and come down and fix what's wrong, but that's not reality. Who is he gonna lock up? Who is he gonna hold accountable? What is he gonna expose?
Well, he said it yesterday in his after the verdict that we need to look into Soros and his funding.
We've been doing that though. Glenn Beck started that.
But on a
08?
congressional level. On a congressional level, we have to look at what is it called? The open societies and the people that are funded by open societies.
Huh.
You take out a major donor. The fact is it is not just that we need to elect Trump, but the fact is down ballot, we need a strong Senate, we need a strong House, and we need state representatives who actually are representing the people, because not all states have the luxuries of having state representatives who are representing the people. We just had in California a Democrat step down with SB 1414 because the Democrats said no, as long as a child is 16 or 17, it should only be a misdemeanor to lock up people for trafficking children.
I saw that lady. She's come out here, the senator. She said,
Yes.
I'm done. I was like, whoa, where this come from?
Crazy.
But the thing about her is she is done with her term, right? There's term limits in the California Senate. So now that you cannot run again, now you're willing to speak out about it. But 2 years ago, when we had as long as a child is within 10 years of age. She said nothing. So I look at her motivation. Now that you're unable to run again, now you want to speak up. But I do appreciate the fact of her coming out.
Hmm. We'll have
Oh,
to see.
well, we have to
I'm
see.
excited for his campaign. I'm excited to
Mm, mm,
see more of what he's running on because he hasn't done a good job of showcasing what he's going to be offering in the future because he's so busy fighting this.
that
Like,
all changes
where are
now.
the goals? Where like I want to know what he's
That all,
running on. That's what I'm more
that all
interested in.
changes. I think he's going to run on figurative issues because notice how the Biden campaign is not running at all on their record. At all. It's all about this is good versus evil. If you vote for Joe, you're voting for good. They're trying to resurrect this recording of Trump saying the N word.
Yeah,
That's been debunked. I mean, it's just they're trying to manufacture all this stuff, and I'm like, if you're saying the economy is so good, run on it, but you
that's true.
won't because you know it sucks.
It
So if I'm
sucks. Yeah.
Trump, I'm like, I'm gonna run on what's important to the people. Say, Suni, how do you feel? How you feel going to the grocery store and paying triple for your groceries? Red pill. I know you drive your car. You want to go to an electric vehicle, being mandated to that, or do you want us to go ahead and drill, baby, drill when it comes to gas, so you actually have control of driving your own car with lower gas prices. Choice up to you. And Joe's gonna say racist. Like,
So 2016. So look, 2016, Trump on the campaign trail.
yep,
Because what you're saying is 2016 Trump. Trump
yes.
went to the average American and said, "What the fuck do you have to lose?" Right? Democrats suck. You should give me a try. Do you think 2016 Trump is going to show up in a presidency?
Yes.
You
I
do.
think I think
Whew.
he's going to be more unhinged because he doesn't have to worry about reelection.
What?
Listen, the gloves, I think that the gloves are going to come off because he doesn't have to be politically correct.
If that happens, I might be MAGA again. But that has to
Well,
happen. And he needs to if he's gonna go balls to the wall with everything, then I'm gonna need him to come out and say what he really thinks about abortion and the gays and this damn jab. Let's just go for it all.
well, I would say, as far as campaign, he's going to be very focused. As far as governing, he's going to be very strategic. So I could see Red Pill saying, "Hey, he's going to be unhinged, but with strategy. You're going to see if he wins the election, you're going to see how he's going to govern by who his cabinet is going to be. If he gets some dogs, Alan West, Department of Defense, Secretary of Defense,
Yeah.
Cass Patel, Ken Paxton, I
Ramaswamy.
might even say
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy when it comes to the Secretary of Treasury. I would make sure Ramaswamy the Secretary of State.
Can we get Candace as press secretary?
She ain't gonna do
Nobody
it.
else.
She ain't
I
gonna
don't
do
see. I don't. Why would you turn that down, girl?
it. Because she has kids. She's the one to do it. She's
Yeah.
had a baby.
We need some entertainment while Trump is in office, man.
The governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, had children. She was still press secretary.
Yeah, but her children were older. Candace just actually had a new child, like literally a couple months ago.
Excuse me, man. What time is it? It is 1:24 in the morning, and I am on here with y'all in America at noon. It's 11 a.m. for you, and it is 9 a.m. for Red Pill, right? Do I got that right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting my time zones back. I'm trying to remember the times. Let's see, but we already have institutions in place to investigate people like Soros. You said Zorro, but I'm assuming you meant Soros. I don't want more. I don't know. I think that we should be excited and engaged in this up and coming election, and not just at a federal level, but at a state level. I think you guys should be paying attention to who's in city council. You should be paying attention to the representatives that you are sending to Washington to advocate on your behalf.
Agree.
I think I'm going to close the show with a Malcolm X speech. People don't understand.
Before you do
Not
that,
right now. I'm just saying in general.
Before you do that, Sunni, did you guys see what actually happened in Texas in the runoffs?
I did not. What happened in Texas?
I got some hope for Texas a little bit. This shows the power of Ken Paxton. There was 15 runoffs. 15. Right? 14 of them was all 15. 15. It was a conservative versus a rhino. The conservatives won 14-1. 14-1. 14 rhinos lost. Out of all 15, only one rhino won, and it was Speaker House. He won by 1 point. He won by 400 votes. That was it. Texas is now conservative now. We're going to see what actually happens. And Ken Paxton came out and said, any Republicans that vote for Dade Fielding to be Speaker, you're going to be primaried next go round, and your ass going to be gone too. He came out. I said, damn, I did Ken my nigga.
We'll see if they actually put it into practice. Because, Jim Jordan drafted up a letter, a nice stern letter over to the prosecutor, Bragg. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick.
What did it say? I knew that, man. Okay, I hate them Jim.
He's calling Bragg to the floor.
Yeah, but I'm gonna need them to do a little bit more than call him to the floor. What are we doing with this calling him to the floor? If you're just gonna call him to the floor to try to poke holes in what we already know, then
come on, man.
Don't be wasting my time. This is what I mean. They be playing with my emotions. I gotta pull it up on my end.
Talk that talk,
It's true. Can we get some action?
Can
we see y'all hold some people accountable? I'm so sick of these stupid hearings.
Come on.
Liddell is shit.
Take it to the key. Come on. Talk to the Lord. Come on.
I'm just saying what every American is thinking at this point. Like, can we get some prosecution? Can we get some like people going to jail, maybe losing their jobs, being unseated? Can we do that?
Praise his name. Yes, sir. Come on with that old school.
Right. So Jim Jordan drafted this letter to Mr. Alan Bragg. I'm sorry. That's his name, I think.
Alan Bragg.
Alvin, I'm sorry. Alvin Bragg Jr. And it says, Dear Mr. Bragg, we write to respectfully request your testimony at a hearing before the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government of the Committee on the Judiciary Title Hearing on the Weaponization of the Federal Government on June 13, 2024 at 10 a.m. in room 2141 of the Rayburn House Office Building. This hearing will examine actions by the state and local prosecutors to engage politically motivated prosecutions of federal officials, in particular the recent political prosecution of President Donald Trump by Manhattan District Attorney Office. So they're inviting him, to a subcommittee hearing. I don't really understand what for. Like I said, if you're just going to invite him there to like blow hot air, and then all the content creators record the fact that these people openly stated that they have no real case, and then y'all do nothing about it, then what is all this for?
So I think that there's steps. Sunni, while I'm with you, I would like to see people in handcuffs because our justice system is completely broken. but there are steps that we have to take in order for those to happen. Now, if he goes there and we find out the real stuff that's happening and nothing happens, I agree with you. But there are clearly steps that we have to take. And I agree that a lot of these so-called Republicans are pussyfooting around some shit because
For sure.
we haven't. Listen, I am officially working for Chris Bish for Congress out of Sacramento, and that is why I'm here right now, door knocking, campaigning for her. But
I want to interview her.
Chris Bish is the one who exposed the fact that Adam Schiff either committed real estate fraud or he violated the Constitution because his primary residence is in Chevy Chase, Maryland, and the Congress has done not a damn thing about it. The woman from Baltimore was tried and convicted with real estate fraud, but yet Adam Shifty Schiff, who is the biggest opposition to the Constitution and freedom, has not done, nobody has held him accountable.
So look, they don't even got to get arrested, okay? Just somebody losing their seat. I just want to see something happen from these hearings that they have with these people. But there is going to be an town hall with Donald Trump. So if you guys are on X and you have Twitter, Elon Musk is going to be having a town hall with Trump.
Wow, that's strong.
What's gonna happen?
Strong.
It's gonna crash. Listen, yesterday I was on Nick Sotoro's during the verdict releasing, and it kept on crashing. It was that many people on. So you bring Trump on X, Elon better make sure his stuff is suited and booted.
Also, guys, we are officially in the month of June. Well, in Japan we are. Don't forget, June 27th is going to be the first debate between Trump and Biden. If it happens, some people are predicting that the debate won't happen because Biden is going to find some way of getting out of the debate. But look out for that town hall. Look out for the first debate. I'm not sure when the second debate is. Have they announced it yet, or is it still to be announced? Do you guys know?
I haven't seen the second one.
Okay, well, I'm interested to hear this town hall. I want to hear what Trump's going to be running on. Of course, I fall asleep anytime I listen to Elon Musk. His voice is just very monotone and boring. But I'm going to do my best to try to listen to him. So I want to hear what he has to say on the matter as well. What's up, Joe Collins? I see you in here.
Liddell, I wanted to tell you that Ken Paxton has reached out to Chris about the Adam Schiff stuff, but the fact is that none of the originations of his primary residence was from Texas. But Ken Paxton, I'll tell you, that man is willing to fight for anyone, anywhere in the country, and I respect that about him.
Yeah, I actually know him very well. I know his wife as well, all very well. I know all of them. He became very powerful after he got acquitted on all 14 counts. Very powerful. He's the most powerful man in Texas. The second most powerful man in Texas is Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. The third is Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott is not the most powerful person in Texas. He's not. Nowhere near it. It's Ken. Matter of fact, Ken is thinking about if Trump may end up choosing Abbott for Secretary of Energy. If that actually happens, Paxton's running for governor here. He'll win by a landslide.
I feel like this is going to be a busy night for me. Dude, there's a bunch of statements coming out. Biden is about to make a statement on the Middle East. And we were just sitting here talking about this being a thorn in his side for his campaign. So I kind of want to watch that just to see what this old man is going to say. But I want to go to bed.
5 Democrats reach out to me and ask me, did Joe Biden pay for those bombs that hit Rafah?
Democrats,
like, you know, the crazy Democrat friends or family that you have on social media that absolutely just vilely hate of your politics. Those ones.
Well, I don't think I'm going to stay up to watch him. I might have to catch the replay. I don't think Justin deserves
and
that.
I want y'all to notice. Have you guys noticed that don't nobody ever watch this dude talk?
Because
He's
does he
only got
talk?
1,000 people watching right now.
Like, come
Does,
on, come on,
does
dog.
he talk? Can he put a sentence together?
Well, did y'all see that clip I posted of his him challenging Trump to that debate?
Yeah, I saw that. And I was laughing. I was laughing.
Did you
Like,
see how many
man.
edits were in that 16-second clip? Joe Biden was
Like
fucking that
15?
video up before they put it out. Somebody counted 16.
Come on, man. I mean, I can cut a picture on
I have a question. If we think Trump is going to win 60, 70%, do we think it's going to affect the down ballot?
Do we think it's going to affect the down ballot? As far as in a positive or negative way? What do you mean?
So my thought is, if people are looking at what the Democrats, because we know that this weaponization has happened because of Democrat strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thought is that this may affect the down ballot with all offices, all seats come November.
If I'm tracking what you're saying, I think it would affect Democrats more than Republicans.
I think that people are not going to be voting Democrat.
Potentially.
I think a lot of people will. I think the exit polls will show what we're saying here, just for people who might be a little confused about what we're talking about. I think the exit polls and the primaries kind of prove your theory of voting down ballot for the Democrats is going to be an issue, because a lot of people, I think there's a lot of Democrats who are going to vote independent. I don't think RFK is a threat, but there's a lot of Democrats who are actually interested in what he's saying. I think it would be an issue for Democrats more so than Republicans.
RFK is a threat to Joe Biden. I don't think he's at all a threat to Trump.
Does anybody think that Biden is not going to make it?
No, he'll
November 5th.
He'll make it because they have now, because they missed the Ohio certification thing.
Yeah.
They're now going to nominate him virtually. So he's going to walk into the Democrat National Convention already being voted as the candidate. All because they missed the Ohio deadline to put him on the ballot. Yep. Sir, they ain't playing no games.
Yeah. Save it for the show tonight. We'll replay. Okay. I will save it for the show tonight. Well, guys, I am going to be getting off here. You guys will see me again in a couple hours. We do have a show tonight. Didn't have one Tuesday because life was lifing. And by the time I was going to go sit down and do the show, I had other plans for myself that I didn't even know I had. So I didn't get to do the show on Tuesday, but we will be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys tune back in to watch, hear our statements on President Biden's statements on the Middle East. I don't know what he's going to be talking about. We'll get to hear. Well, we will get to hear from Cult 45 tonight, y'all. And she knows who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Cult 45 is going to be in the building deep tonight.
Did you say Chuck? Cult 45.
Cult 45. Yes. If you're a Cult 45 or drop Cult 45, hashtag Cult 45 in the comment section.
I think a lot of people are turning into Colt 45 after yesterday's verdict.
The Q-tards are about to be out here, y'all.
I mean, the verdict, the verdict didn't make no sense. I'm like, this don't make no sense. It didn't make no sense.
Man. They got this on a rarely. They don't even use this statute. It said the statute has been rarely used to prosecute. The prosecutors offered a range of what the quote-unquote unlawful means were, including violating campaign finance and tax laws. So they tried to throw any and everything that would stick to this dude.
But Suni, but there was no crime. There was no crime.
The crime was paying his lawyer.
But he's a lawyer.
I know. I mean,
So
what was his first crime? Talking to Putin? Who was he talking to? Talking to Ukraine?
Zelensky.
Yeah.
That was his first crime. It's illegal to talk to other world leaders. So, yeah, you're not allowed to pay your lawyer. Don't be doing that.
This is man.
Nobody has brought up the fact that how much money did Bill Clinton pay Monica Lewinsky?
How much money did
$850,000.
Bill Clinton pay to that other woman that I showed? $850,000.
He should
He
be
paid
going to
that money
jail, right?
come from?
$500,000.
He paid Monica Lewinsky $500,000.
Yep.
God damn.
That wasn't no $2 sucky. That was $500,000.
And where did that money come from? Why we not checking their finances? That was done to repair his campaign, his presidency, his legacy, right? So
I mean, real talk, man.
statute of limitations didn't run out, right?
Yeah, I'm rocking with it. Real talk. I ain't gonna lie to you. Him be on the phone line with talking to the China person while getting some down. I was like, and he talking cool. I'm like, that's a man. It's unholy. I'm like, OG. I said, damn. I said, wow.
See, this, it would be funny if Republicans decided to go grab Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, snatch them up, and drag them into court cases. That would be fun.
This is the thing, though. In order to do that, you need a strong Congress and a strong Senate to actually hold these people accountable. Because if we don't take over all three of them, the White House, the Senate, and the Congress, we got nothing.
I don't want to actually hold them accountable because I know that's never going to happen. I just want the circus for the Clintons real quick. I want to see what that's going to look like. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
They won't be tested all. I have to give it to Hillary. She's really good at existing in the gray. If I go down, your ass going down too. And
listen,
I'm like,
Hillary, she took lessons from Muhammad Ali with the bob and weave.
I'm like, I was like, oh, gee, that's a bad woman.
She's a powerful woman, man. You ever looked into Clinton Global Initiative? Y'all want to go down a rabbit hole?
Man.
Hillary Clinton goes to other countries and sells democracy to world leaders.
Sure do.
That is her sole purpose.
Sure do. She's good at it too.
She really is. Look what she did. Look what she did to Haiti. Poor Haiti. She messed them Haitians up.
Messed them boys up. Messed them boys up. Did y'all hear about in Gaza how I think $350 million was put something like that for a dock? And the dock was there to put in the water so the supplies can get to Gaza. Not one supply got to Gaza.
No.
Washed away.
I was like, this is sick.
You didn't hear what happened before? Bro, they were purposefully dropping the humanitarian aid, the crates. They were purposely dropping them in the water. And the Gazans were dying trying to get to the humanitarian aid. It's not funny. I'm not laughing at these people dying. I'm laughing at the fact.
That's sick, man. Come on.
So is it that the Army Corps of Engineers want this to be the show? Like, is this a plan by them?
You talking about the
because I think the Army Corps of Engineers, I think that
of course they want. See, I can't. I'm gonna get in trouble. I said take my ass to bed. I think what you just said is the ultimate goal. I think Trump's gonna inherit a war. I do.
Oh, yes. He is.
And I think the Democrats are going to try to use this war to wound the fuck out of his name. That's really what I think. I think 9/11, and I mean the war on Afghanistan, I think that's going to be that'll still be a significant war. But if what I think happens, they're gonna fuck Trump. You come on back in office. Come on back in here.
Oh, they got a spot. They
We
got a
about to
plan.
screw your name
Now
up.
that plan works well if they win the House. They're gonna lose the Senate. If they lose both the House and Senate,
they won't lose it for long. If they do lose it
for 2 years,
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
But if we take back the Senate, which we have the opportunity to, that's a 6-year term.
But then again, you have to. I'm looking at who's winning the Senate positions. Like, everybody was upset with Kevin McCarthy, right? Kevin McCarthy he did nothing different than what Speaker Mike Johnson is doing. If we keep it all the way at stay, they're doing the same thing. So we got to talk about who's potentially coming to Congress and in the Senate, and if they're even gonna govern the way that we deem necessary when it does come to the war, because it could be a whole bipartisan kumbaya for 4 years of just fucking nonsense.
So good.
Speaker Mike Johnson is setting the precedent for that. They took the motion to vacate. They got together, made a deal. You know who called us out? Liddell called me on the phone one day, and we were just chopping it up, and he was like, "This is the plan, Sudi. Just think about it real quick." And I went and did some research, and I was sending him stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, well, wait a goddamn minute!" And what do you know? 2 weeks later, Democrats and Republicans come to a deal to get rid of the motion to vacate.
Told you. I said, yeah, this is all part of the plan.
I don't know. I don't think we should get rid of Mike Johnson right now, but after the election, he's got to go. He can be Speaker of the House. That
was part of the plan. Hey, Mike, you ain't gonna be the Speaker. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna happen. So hey, just want to let you know, enjoy this. Hey, even at the Speaker at all, you still get a lifetime income. You still get a lifetime income. Man, you good. You're talking about, hey man, thank you for your service. But it's over. Okay, go ahead and make this deal. No problem with it at all. And let's win back the house.
He looked at the camera, said, "Look, it's over for you. Just go relax."
Yeah, God bless you. Keep you.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Anyways, y'all, make sure you come back at 9 p.m. Eastern. Me and Mo will be live somewhere in the middle discussing cultural news, political news. And like I said before, Cult 45 is going to be in the building. I think you guys should tune in to see 45. How Cult 45 is looking on the show.
And also, y'all, today at 5 p.m.
Tune in.
Me and Cliff are talking about how to invest in real estate with high interest rates. I need to come for this one. This is going to be good, y'all.
I want to encourage everyone who is listening right now. You need to go to your local county registrar's office, pick up some register to vote forms, and talk to people and get them registered to vote.
Facts, y'all. Get out there and vote. We got to be better at that. Republicans.
Red Pill. I actually want to interview this lady. So she followed me. The one that you actually know, she followed me this week. So I actually want to interview her on the Canoe podcast. It'll be virtual, which will be fine.
I will DM you her contact information.
Sounds good. We're gonna get it in a little bit.
All right, y'all. We'll see you tonight.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all.
So when you're done getting high, and it's over when the party's over. Where you going when the party's over?